The anchoring for portfolio is also a function of the macro conditions. If interest rates are low, if commodity prices are low, these are perfect conditions to buy into small and mid-cap stocks at a bit of a beta. If inflation is high, if interest rates are higher than historical averages, it's time to buy defensives and where you can protect your money. What should be the anchoring of the portfolio?
See, my view is that at this point of time, it may not be the best place to go into defenses. When I say defensive, we're probably referring to FMCG kind of a pack, or maybe the core pharma pack. This is traditionally what we have called as defensive.
Maybe IT also.
It might be IT as well. But Nikunj, what I think is that maybe the macros in terms of worst, they have probably peaked out. You know, if at all going forward, I would probably think the probability of a rate cut is way higher than a rate hike. Okay, so to that extent, I honestly don't think this is a great time to be yet in consumer place. You may probably be there one or two names which you like, but I don't think FMCG is the place to be in. And purely simply reason because their growth from a volume growth will at best be 5 to 8%. Today, I would really kind of struggle to say that can a FMCG business grow in volume terms at 10% plus? Very unlikely.
They're growing actually lower than the GDP, to put it very simply.
Yes, so in the consumer pack, I think outside of FMCG, maybe things like alcoholic beverages, which we have been now liking for a long time.
But why were numbers for United Spirits so bad? If there's so much of commanding market share, the big picture that, you know, good or bad times, you will always consume alcohol.
So first is, I think, the industry-related challenges, twofold. One is clearly input prices. There's still kind of challenges there in terms of input prices. Cost of freight, cost of packaging, cost of bottles, cost of raw materials, all of that. Second is in some of the states have not yet given them price hikes. So these are two industry-related challenges. For United Spirits, which is a stock we own, they have challenges in terms of trying to reorient their portfolio, and they're trying to get rejig. So that's still work in progress. But I believe that they have kind of traveled a large part of that work in progress journey. And it's quite possible that maybe a couple of quarters later, you start to see the impact of that positively. The company in that space that we like even more is Radico Khaitan.
For almost a year now?
We've owned Radico Khaitan now for almost 3 years.
3 years now.
And it's been honestly so far a great journey with Radico. And we still think it's still early days for the entire industry and for a player like Radico Khaitan, which is a challenger to the two big giants in the space.
How come you didn't buy Sula? Only a whiskey, beer? Not dwelling on wine?
Nikunj, we are looking at it. It's IPO'd very recently. We are still kind of looking at it. We'll probably kind of spend a lot more time, take a more harder look, and then take a call. But the space is interesting. And therefore, Sula also falls on our radar. But, you know, we haven't yet taken a decision. I guess we're still very early in our research process as far as Sula wines goes.
I have to ask you IT before I get into specifics of your portfolio. It's a season of change in IT. Macro changes, layoffs by big tech, and if that was not enough, change of top guard. Infosys has lost talents. TCS, Rajesh's exit. I read that Mr. Desai from Mastech has decided to pursue different roles in the company. What do you want to start with? Macro, layoffs, or change of guard?
I think because the macros and the layoffs affects them a lot less. You know, these are pretty much steady state, like the way we alluded to FMCG companies growing in mid to high single digits. I think the large cap IT companies will still kind of have that kind of growth.
8-10% growth is here.
8-10%. I mean, if I were to kind of just, and I'm taking Infosys as a reference point, even in the best year, which was financial year 21-22 for the sector, their earnings growth was only 16%. In your best year, you're going to grow 16%. Okay, so I think we have to keep that in mind that they will probably just grow in a range of about 10 to 12%, depending upon how your operating parameters are. So I would still think that, and the large caps have played out. We've seen a huge rebound. So if we look at it probably sometime later, last year in 22, or the start of this calendar year, the IT stocks were on the lower side. I think we've seen some kind of a rebound trade. I think we're done with that. I don't think from here they can outperform in any significant manner, the large cap kind of pack. I think in IT, I still believe that the change and the delta, and therefore the alpha, will come in from the tier 2, tier 3 names, the mid to small cap names. There they have very interesting opportunities. Somebody's getting into new niche, somebody's getting into new geography, there are client wins, a new CEO, new leadership team.
What do you like?
These are the kind, well, we own only 2 stocks currently. We own in fact only one stock which is called LTTS right now. And that's about it.
You've sold Tata Elxsi completely.
Yeah, we are out of Tata Elxsi. So we're going to be evaluating. I think we're going to take 1 or 2 more quarters. And I think in that environment, we will come up with extremely good ideas. But say a name like Tech Mahindra, which is large
The
cap.
change of guard there, yeah.
But I think there's a change of guard. Somebody with strong credentials is really coming in out there. It's got the pedigree of the M&M group. The group CEO of M&M has been very aspirational and is really driving individual operating companies really hard. There is a change in leadership for Tech Mahindra. Size is great. They have very minimal exposure to BFSI. They are in communications and telecom and all of that. So that's one company where we haven't invested yet. But I think we would want to be watchful. We would want to see what the new CEO has in store in terms of his aspiration, his strategy, and all of that. We will see and we'll evaluate and maybe take a call there. So that's like one of the names which is part of our prospect list, but is not yet in the portfolio.